make our picks. Wolo 20-20 on the year. Landon 17-23, still trying to catch up with me. But what a mess at LSU. So the governor yesterday, or maybe the day before, made the comment that the athletic director, Scott Woodward, would not be involved at all in the process of hiring a new football coach. Now, I've never heard of that before. The governor saying the AD of the school. Now, he's the governor of the state, not the school, but obviously the board controls the school, which is a part of the state, and they do get public money. He just basically said, this guy can't do the job. And so you knew it was just a matter of time before Scott Woodward would be out. Well, that happened yesterday. Out he goes, and it is a total mess at LSU. They've got the week off for sure. In the meantime, Tulane got ripped apart by UTSA in San Antonio at the Alamodome. Here's a stat for you, Landon Schmidt. I'll bet you did not know this. Since they joined the American, the Roadrunners have not lost a conference game with their head coach, Robert Traylor. They have not lost a conference game at home. They're 21-0. They rip apart Tulane last night. And so, how about this? If North Texas beats Navy, and Memphis, of course, wins, there will be 6 teams, 6, with only 1 loss, all tied at the top of the American. There could have been 7, but East Carolina and Temple both have 1 loss. They will play each other. 6 teams. If North Texas, favored by 6.5, beats Navy, I would say, Landon, that tells you this is a competitive league.
I think you're absolutely right, and you're right. I did not know that stat, but that is a very impressive one nonetheless. But with the race being this wide open, it fits right into the story of college football this year that it seems that everything is wide open.
It just tells you that whichever team wins, they're worthy because they've got good wins on their resume. And even this Tulane team, man, that's shocking. They beat Duke and totally tore them apart. They beat Northwestern, which is turning out to be a decent team, and pretty well dominated that game. So they've got some great wins. And now you think that they're probably out of the running here after getting destroyed last night by the way they did, although they've only got 1 loss in the conference, so everything really is still up in the air. So that is the lineup I kind of mentioned. We've got our picks coming in a minute. Glenn Rogers will chat with us on high school football. A lot of games last night. Most of the games last night. The playoffs start on November the 7th. Andy Schiffman on the NBA, and then Munzie on the disaster that was last night, which is hard for me to believe. You got 23 turnovers and only 21 field goals made. You lose 100-71. Now, keep in mind, this is an exhibition game. He played all 15 guys. They played close in the second half, so they've had a good first half against Arkansas, and a good second half against Auburn. In between, awful. I mean, they're giving up almost 100 points a game. This is on a team that was supposed to be long and very good defensively. They can't rebound at all. Penny said, which shocked me, they had not practiced any zone. They hadn't seen any zone, really, and didn't think they were going to see zone in this game. So that didn't help. And the shuffling of the starting lineup didn't help. So what do we think? We'll find out a little bit later from Munzie on all of that. I've moved the Family Leisure Studios Southwest. We are in Houston, Texas, but you've got your last chance this weekend. I'm telling you that on Monday, I'm going to tell you about a brand new sale. And it's a good one. But right now, you can still cash in on getting an unbelievable spa, state-of-the-art, for under $3,000. You can still get the cold plunge, the newest thing, for under $5,000. There's special financing and even better deals on the floor models. Go check it out. Last weekend for the world's biggest spa sale at family leisure. All right, my friend, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I
That's
am.
you, Landon. You ready to go? You got a lot of ground to make up. Let's start with Vandy at Texas. I'm a believer in the Commodores. I'm a believer in Diego Pavia. Texas is favored, not sure why, by 3.5 in this game. Texas was lucky to win in Starkville. I'm not sure about the status of Manning. I know they listed him as questionable, which means he could play. By the way, these injury reports are a joke. The Americans doing it 2 hours before the games now. If you can list a guy as questionable, and that means he might not play or he might play. There's no real like obligation to play the guy if you use that term. So there's really no truth to any of these things, and so who knows? So I'm going to go with Vandy because I don't believe in Texas, and I'm not sure Manning will play.
Yeah, whether or not Arch is in, it doesn't change my answer. Vandy has made me a believer this year, so I'm going to anchor down with the best of them, and I'm taking the Commodores.
All right, we agree on that. Georgia, 7.5 on Florida. Florida playing with an interim coach. Florida has nothing to play for. Georgia is playing to make the playoff. This is a game they can't lose, even though it's not at home. I guess this is are they playing this in the neutral in Jacksonville like they normally do? I know there's getting renovations being done there. I'm not sure. Is this thing in Jacksonville?
I believe this is the last year for Jacksonville before they move locations next year.
Okay. So even makes it even easier for me to go with Georgia.
Yeah, as badly as I want to pick Florida, this Georgia team is just way too good, and I think they just run away with it.
South Carolina is at Ole Miss, 12.5 points. Makes you kind of wonder, can they cover that at home? Is Lane Kiffin still 100% committed to the Rebels? Is he thinking about LSU? Is he thinking about Florida? I think the guy is focused. I really don't think he's going to leave. I don't know why he would. He keeps saying money doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. He's going to get a raise out of Ole Miss anyway. It's a lot less pressure than there is in Baton Rouge. He's got things going there, and everything's changed. I know Mississippi doesn't produce the high school recruits that you could with Florida or even Louisiana, but if you've got the NIL money, does it really matter anymore? I'm actually thinking that Ole Miss rips South Carolina. I think I'll give away the 12.5.
I'm going to go with South Carolina here. I feel like in the past few weeks that Lenore Sellers has been showing his dual threat ability, and this team is keeping games close. So to cover that point spread, I'm going to see if they can do it. I'm going to go with the Gamecocks.
All right. Are you going straight up, or are you
to
just
cover?
saying?
To cover. I don't think they win this game. I'm going to cover.
All right, we differ on that one. Oklahoma is at Tennessee. The Volunteers, 2.5. That's not that much. I know both teams are ranked. I know Oklahoma is good. I know they've got good defense. I'm a believer in Aguilar. I'm a believer in Josh Heupel's philosophy. It's only 2.5. It's in Knoxville. Give me the balls.
I'm right there with you. I mean, Joey Aguilar is the leading passer in the SEC right now, and a lot of that attributed to the game he had last week. But this is a good Tennessee offense, so I'm going Vols all the way.
All right, we agree on that one. Final one. This is an interesting game because there was, in my mind, doubt. Scott Rule, after Signetti got his big deal at Indiana, Penn State made a big rush for Rule. And he got his contract extension, used that leverage, got the deal because he wanted to stay at Nebraska. They're taking on USC, and the Trojans are 4.5-point favorites, playing to make the playoffs. But you know what? Nebraska's 6-2. I don't know that they get into the playoffs, but this would be a big win. The Trojans are giving away 4.5 in Lincoln, Nebraska. I think because of that extension, the loyalty, and everything else that goes with it, I'm going Big Red here. Give me Nebraska, the Cornhuskers.
Well, we're only going to differ on 2 games today. I'm going to go with USC. I feel like this game is going to be a shootout, and it is going to be close with Dylan Raiola in Nebraska. But I don't know. There's something about this USC team that can really put stuff together. So I expect them to win by a touchdown at the least. So give me USC.
All right, so we agree on Vandy, Georgia, and Tennessee. We disagree on the Ole Miss South Carolina game. I got the Rebs, and I've taken the Cornhuskers over the Trojans. You've got USC. Let the games begin. We saw a lot of games that happened on Thursday because everybody's getting ready for the playoffs. In high school football, we bring in our coach, Glenn Rogers Jr., who I know is happy because his guys have a 2-game winning streak. They destroyed MUS, and then they did the same last night to Father Ryan, 31-10. They're 5-5, which means they'll be a host in the playoffs a week from tonight when they take on, I'm not sure if they know who they're going to take on yet, but they end up 5-5 on the year and really turned the season around. They found themselves a quarterback. Good morning, Coach. How are you? I know I can't see you, but you got a big smile on your face.
Good morning on this EZB Friday, Dave, and I do have a big, big smile on my face. We're playoff bound. We're going to host a game next week. We don't know our opponent. We'll find it out tonight, but great job. It's senior night, senior dad's night. Great job for our seniors. Just want to congratulate all of them. Guys who've been working hard in this program for 4 years under Coach McDaniel and his staff. And this was a fun night, man, to get a win convincingly and against a good Father Ryan team. I know they were 1-8 before. They got some good players, and they're well coached. It's just been a tough season on those guys, but I was proud of our kids to get that win in and secure home field advantage.
What's the reason you think for your turnaround? I think you found yourself a quarterback. Is that part of it, or you came together? I know you've had a physicality that is really been terrific the last few weeks.
Yeah, we settle in on one guy, Nate Brick. He's a freshman quarterback. Got all the intangibles, Dave. He's 6'2", good-looking kid, smart, can make every throw. And once you settle in on one guy, the team kind of rallied around that, and Coach McDaniel decided to settle on him. I think our offense has been doing well. We've been running the ball well, and I thought, all year long we've been playing pretty good defense. We've been tough against the run, and gave up a couple of big plays on the back end, but we pretty much shored that up. And but I think overall, when you settle in on a quarterback, I think it settles everybody down, and we're playing good football now, and we just got to keep that engine turning and see what we can do in this playoff run.
All right, speaking of quarterbacks, Southwind's got a quarterback in Kelvin Perkins. They beat Germantown last night 34-8. So Germantown, which looked unbeatable at the beginning of the year, has lost 2 games in a row, albeit to 2 really good teams. But Southwind dominated last night. They are undefeated. Are they a team you think that could bring home a gold ball?
Absolutely, Dave. Anytime you got a kid like that quarterback, Perkins, he can do it all day. He can run, he can throw. When nothing's there, he can make nothing out of something. I've watched him 3 games now, 2 live, and he just got all the intangibles, Dave. I've said this many times before. He reminds me so much of Barry Brunetti, the quarterback that was at MUS when we were there. He just can do everything, man. He's a dual threat guy, but he gets you out of trouble. And I tell you what. If Southwind defense, if they can shore up some things on that defense, I think they can challenge for a gold ball. Because when you got a kid like that, you're never out of a ball game. And so Coach Griffin and his staff, I think they're poised to make a deep, deep run, if not be in Murfreesboro playing for that state championship gold ball.
So Brunetti went to Ole Miss. The best offer, I think, that Kelvin Perkins has gotten so far is Austin Peay. Do you think he'll end up at Austin Peay, or will somebody wake up here?
David, it wouldn't surprise me in the end if somebody, one of these bigger schools, made a push at him, because when you look at him on tape, Dave, he can make throws. He's a great athlete. He's a smart kid. He makes good decisions with the football. He doesn't put them in bad situations. So it would not shock me if somebody made a late push. But it also, David, wouldn't surprise me. He goes to Austin Peay for 1 or 2 years and tears it up. One of these big schools will grab him, just like the kid at Ole Miss that's playing for Ole Miss right now.
Bartlett beat Arlington 28-14. Good game. Bartlett sort of improved at the end of the year. I don't know what their playoff status is.
Yeah, and you can see Bartlett's had a tough schedule. Started off rocky, been kind of rocky in the middle, but you can see they got a couple of wins under their belt lately, and they beat a real good Arlington team who started off in the year they were 5-0 at one point. But so it looked like Bartlett has found some continuity, and I don't know how that playoff run that bracket is going to shake out, but it looks like Bartlett has found a little continuity toward the end.
Collierville knocked off Houston. All those young players really took it on the chin this year, and Collierville was impressive, 49-27.
Yeah, boy, what a tough year for Coach Thomas and his staff, Dave. State champions in 1 year, state run-up last year. Man, I think they've got, 1 or 2 wins under their belt, so you can tell they're young, so a lot of soul searching, I'm sure, this year for Coach Thomas and his staff, and got to get those young guys, like you said, took a lot of lumps. But hopefully they'll learn from it and they'll be better next year, and it'll be a better season for Houston next year. But it's been a tough season for the defending run-ups, state champ, the state run-ups last year, Dave.
Whitehaven over White Station, it was a whitewash, 42-0. Has Whitehaven finally found their footing?
Yeah, and Dave, Whitehaven's got an outstanding tailback, and we know Coach Salisbury, one of the veteran coaches in his area, always going to have his teams ready to go. And just a real good story for Whitehaven to be back in playoff contention and getting ready for the playoffs. And it was a 3-year hiatus day for Whitehaven, so I'm sure everybody in Whitehaven is feeling good. Rodney's got his team poised to make a deep run in the playoffs, and it starts with that running game and his tough defense.
One last thing, Millington had their way with Ridgeway last night, 33-2. This is the 100th year of Millington football, which to me is fantastic. I don't know what's happened to Ridgeway. Durant Sutton's been their coach for a long, long time. He had it going early on. They've struggled the last couple of years. What is happening to Ridgeway?
Well, Chris Michael, one of my college teammates, is Millington. Congratulations to him and his staff on the win. But, like you said, Dave, COVID hit and really dismantled Whitehaven and Ridgeway, two really good programs. And it just seemed like Coach Sutton hasn't got his footing back. Germantown has improved. Southwind has improved, and when you got 2 schools like that, that's not far from Ridgeway High School, some of those kids are going to trend that way, and it looks like that's what's been the case. Some of those Germantown kids and Ridgeway kids normally get trending toward Germantown and Southwind, and it just seemed like Coach Sutton hadn't really got his footing back since the big COVID thing that decimated his program in that year and a half.
Yeah, well, and it always comes down to not X's and O's, but Jimmy's and Joe's most of the time.
You better believe it.
All right,
Dave.
2 games tonight. Let you pick
it.
them. You're 32-10 on the year. Central 7-2. A good year for Major Wright and his young quarterback, his son, and Munford 9-0 and look like they could win a gold ball. This one I think is kind of easy. As much as I'd like to see Central play, Munford is awfully good.
Yeah, and Dave, you said it right. Coach Calhoun, that offense, and we said this weekend, and we got Germantown struggle with it. Central's going to definitely struggle with it. You don't see that offense often. So you don't, a week to prepare for that offense, Dave, is not enough. You need to have a bye week so you can really hone in on discipline with your D-line, your linebackers, and your secondary. And, Coach Calhoun, 9-0. I'll tell you, Dave, Munford, I would not be surprised if they're playing for a state championship this year because so many teams just don't have time to prepare for that offense. And I don't see anything changing now. I think Major puts up a good fight, but that offense is tough to stop.
And then this one, a great one. Briarcrest, 6-3 at MUS, 6-3. I know MUS suffered a couple of injuries last week against you guys. I don't know how much that puts them behind the 8 ball. They got the Saints tonight. What happens?
Yeah, and tough injuries for MUS. Quarterback Mattis Gill Sr., he's out with a broken leg, and Jackson Hood, the middle linebacker, is out with a broken ankle. So tough injuries. I've also heard the quarterback, Price Renovich, may not be playing due to a concussion. So they took some lumps last week, but I tell you, Briarcrest, Dave, is loaded. They average about 35, 34 points a game. They got everybody healthy. I can see them going into Hull Dobbs and and putting up big numbers tonight because the MUS just don't have the weapons and the firepower to contend with it.
Is Briarcrest good enough to bring home a gold ball?
I think they can. I think they're good enough. Field master, veteran coach. Their quarterback's playing well. They got good skill guys. They're good up front. Defensively, they may have some shortcomings at the linebacker position, but they're good enough, Dave, to make a deep run in our division. Because I tell you, Dave, our division, Max Prep said it best. It's one of the tough divisions. It's one of the 5 toughest divisions in the country. And so in order to make a deep run, you got to have some healthy guys up front. Quarterback's got to be playing well. So Max has got those, and he'll be poised to make a run in this playoff run.
All right, so you've mentioned Munford. Briarcrest may be a shot. Certainly Southwind. The playoffs start. I know you guys host next Friday at Christian Brothers. What Shelby County teams, besides the 3 we mentioned, can realistically bring home a gold ball?
Well, Dave, I tell you, we just looking throughout the region, still I think Whitehaven has a chance. They got to get better quarterback play. But their running game is strong. Whitehaven always has a strong defense. Mace, we had talked about Mace a lot, Cedric Miller. They won the state championship last year. I would not count them out. They still have a pretty good record. They got a lot of good players. I mean, D1 caliber players that's on the roster. So those 2 teams, Whitehaven and Mace, would not surprise me if they're in that final or semifinal game challenging for a state championship.
All right, Coach. Best of luck. We'll talk next week, and I know you'll have the playoffs that night, so that's a lot of fun. Postseason right around the corner in high school football.
Go Brothers and go Tigers.
There you go. That's our coach. That is Glenn Rogers Jr. We got to take a break. When we come back, we talk NBA, Grizzlies, and Lakers, and a whole lot more. Our agent from Chicago, that's Andy Schiffman. He comes your way next.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. With over 175,000 cars served in our drive-thru, 4,000 online pickup orders, and 1,500 party packs delivered to offices and events every year, Corky's is your trusted go-to barbecue for parties. Our party packs start at just $6.99 per person. You can choose 1, 2, or 3 meat combos, pick your favorite sides, and as you know, Corky's always gives you plenty of food, so you never worry about running out. Whether it's pickup or delivery, we've got you covered. Corky's makes it easy to impress your guests. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to order for your next gathering today.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Air. We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home and office. Protect babies, pets, new homes, old homes, employees, friends, loved ones, and you. Just call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 for the Memphis Mold Inspector.
It's time to get your Volkswagen on at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, so fall on in and get some cool deals. Like 2025 Taos S, we Gossett $219 a month. If you love Volkswagen Jetta, then you'll love 2025 Jetta S. We Gossett at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike, $228 a month. Plus 2026 Atlas SE, we Gossett just $299 a month. That's Taos S $219 a month, Jetta S $228 a month, and Atlas SE $299 a month. So come get your Volkswagen on today and get ready to ride with a great deal at Gossett Volkswagen Volkswagen 1875 Covington Pike or shop online anytime at GossettDWMemphis.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Volkswagen.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles, 25 cents excess mileage. Taos SMO 58885, MSRP 27011. Get a TM 005137, MSRP 25820. Atlas TC 515,398, MSRP 41841. Includes all rebates and incentives. 895 PF. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Must finance through Volkswagen Financial Services. Valid through 10/31/25.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
All we hear is Radio Gaga.
We're heading to Chicago to talk NBA with Andy Schiffman in a second. He's brought to you by Southern Security. Are you getting the lowest possible rate on your mortgage? At Southern Security, they're going to offer you the lowest rates, flexible terms, no PMI, and always the best service. And wait till you see that new branch that they're building in Collierville, going to open real soon. You can refinance your current mortgage with the Mid-South's best mortgage lender so easily by just going online at southernsecurity.org, or you can call the office, talk to a human being the old-fashioned way, my kind of way, at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is an equal housing lender, proud supporter of the Tigers. Southern Security, your home team credit union, federally insured by NCUA. So we go to Chicago, and Andy Schiffman, the Grizzlies, the Lakers tonight, both 3-2. I'm going to get into the Grizzlies in a second, but I can't help bragging about the Austin Reeves story. I just love this kid. He's such a nice guy. Came from a town just north of Memphis in Arkansas. Nobody was interested in him out of high school except Wichita State and Greg Marshall. He had a good year there, didn't want to play for Marshall, went to Oklahoma, and the rest is history. But how about 51 points, 41 points, 28 points, 16 rebounds, hits the game winner. He's won 3 games for the Lakers. They're now, like we said, 3-2. No LeBron, no Luka, no problem. Austin Reeves, are you shocked? Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. I'm not shocked having watched Austin Reeves the last several years because obviously on a team with the star power the Lakers have, LeBron, Luka, he's always going to be at very best. If those guys are on the floor, the third option. But again, I've watched a lot of the Lakers since Austin came into the league. I remember watching Austin in summer league as an undrafted rookie from Oklahoma and just saying, who is this guy? He was going toe-to-toe with my guy, Miles McBride, who was a rookie on the Knicks, and we were talking about Austin after the game. And then, actually, Austin's rookie year, I was in Philadelphia for the Lakers 76ers game, and I remember Austin led the comeback that the Lakers had and ended up winning in overtime, and it was all the Austin Reeves show. And from that point on, I said, this is my favorite player in the NBA that I do not represent. And that I think that still holds true. And so now he's come into his own. He's gained so much confidence. He's just only getting better and better. And as you said, right, no Luka, no LeBron. He's absolutely taken over into that number one option spot. I mean, just 2 nights ago against Minnesota on the road, 16 assists, 28 points, game-winning field goal. Obviously, you've seen prior to the previous 2 games combined 92 points. And he's doing it in a variety of ways. He's getting to the free throw line. He's knocking in threes. He's getting to the basket. It's unbelievable to watch if you're a Lakers fan. And I know that there was some talk potentially, obviously, with the uncertainty of what's going to happen with LeBron in the next couple of years. Obviously, you get Luka, but you're kind of underachieving as a team if you're a Lakers fan. And do you potentially even consider trading Austin Reeves? This is the rhetoric that went on last season over the summer. And I would just say no way, absolutely no way now to have him alongside Luka, even when LeBron retires, and continue to build around those 2 guys. I mean, they're in a great position. He's a heck of a player.
How does that guy go undrafted? How did no one know about him? I mean, Arkansas State, he's right in their neighborhood. Memphis didn't even look at him at all. He told me that himself. How does that happen? How does this guy undrafted become a superstar?
Look, it's very hard to project out who will have success and who won't in the NBA. I mean, reality, even like lottery picks, those aren't locks. I mean, you look at, the Grizzlies drafted Zaire Williams 10th, and he's a nice player. But was he worthy of a 10th overall pick? Probably not. I mean, Josh Primo, obviously no one could foresee what happened there with the Spurs, but you're drafting that high primarily based on upside and athleticism. And I think that people looked at Austin Reeves, obviously, having a very nice career in college. But again, where was there a lot of upside having spent 4 years between Oklahoma and Wichita State? It is a bit of a head scratcher. And I think there was, I don't know. Again, I've been represented, so I don't know what went on in the workouts and things of that nature. He's coming, put it this way, right? He's coming off a team in Oklahoma, finished his last year there, 2020-21. I got his numbers here pulled up. He was shooting 30% from three. I think for a white wing player like Austin Reeves, right? I think he's become more dynamic as a ball handler in the NBA. I think teams questioned his shooting. He wasn't really a top guy. He wasn't necessarily young like a lot of these lottery picks are.
Right.
And I just think that teams probably had him ranked pretty highly. But again, like if you're second on a team's board on draft night, guess what? If their first option's there, they're not taking him. And then you could potentially fall. I've had that happen a number of times. And that's how thin the margin is.
And now he's got to be a bargain because LeBron and Luka make all the money.
Oh, absolutely. I just think if you look back on the 21 draft and you kind of have a redraft like you see a lot of the media outlets do from time to time,
right? I
think you for sure put him at the top 3, top 5 pick. And he's only going to continue getting better. I think as he's gained more and more confidence, he's a heck of a player. And like I said, I kind of fell in love with his game when I saw that Philly game and just putting the team on his back as hard as he competes. He's not really necessarily a finesse guy. He's a blue collar, put your head down and do whatever it takes to win. And I think he's just gained more confidence in terms of being able to score the ball every which way. And it's showing here. I mean, it's phenomenal to watch him.
In the meantime, the Grizzlies have overcome their injuries. 3-2 start, get a road win the other night in Phoenix. Ja hits the big winner. Cedric Howard, though, is becoming the big story. This guy, they moved up in the draft to get him. Looks like now it was brilliant. I wasn't convinced about him, especially with what I saw in the preseason, but the preseason doesn't count. He's really been good. I think he's knocking on the door of becoming a starter.
I think so, too, on this team. And to your point, Dave, he really struggled in preseason, but that's not necessarily a telltale sign of a young player's trajectory in the NBA. That's only really, 4 or 5 games. And all of these rookies, they continue to get a better feel for the game. And this is the first NBA stint that have ever had, right? And so you'd think with a really good head on your shoulders and ability to be coachable, you're only going to improve and get better, especially with good players around you. I think playing with Ja helps for sure. But he's been great so far. Obviously, he had the breakout game against the Pacers with 27 points last week. The other night in Phoenix, where that one came down to the wire. Obviously, he was pivotal, played the most minutes he's played this season.
He's defending Booker, by the way.
Absolutely. So I think they've got a really nice piece moving forward. And again, you should be excited if you're a Grizzlies fan watching Cedric Howard because he's only going to continue to get better, and he's shooting lights out right now. I mean, again, that'll all average out. Is he going to shoot 60% plus from three throughout the whole season? Probably not. There's very few players, including Steph Curry, do that, right? But it's very encouraging to see what he's done these first 2 games, to your point, given the fact that he had an underwhelming preseason.
Excuse me. Now, you mentioned Ja, and they called up Ja. They called 12, right, to win the game, and he came through with that floater.
Great move, by the way.
It just seems more and more evident to me. The guy has got to play 70 games. If he plays 70 games, I think they got a chance to make the playoffs, not to play in, the playoffs. When they get all these guys back, your guy Edey, they get back Pippen, they get back Ty Jerome, who we know is going to be a really good player. I'm missing one guy. Your guy BC, Brandon Clark. When they get all these guys back, they're going to be a team that I think can make the playoffs. But Ja's got to play 70 games. You agree or disagree?
Oh, absolutely. And what's crazy, Ja's never played 70 games in his career in the NBA. What has it been, 7 seasons or so, 6 or 7 years? The most games he's played in the regular season is rookie year, 67 games.
Right. I think he averages like 50 or 55, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And he needs to be available. The best ability is availability, right?
Yeah.
And he's the leader of the team. You see what he can do with his skill set, the star power, the attraction, and I guess the attention he attracts on the defensive end from these teams, which then you put a guy like Cedric Howard, who can be a great perimeter shooter alongside him. I think that's the case for potentially elevating him into the starting lineup. If he's continuing to shoot the ball like that, just like we saw with Desmond Bane in Memphis, obviously for many years, that's a great combination where if Ja's getting double teamed, then he can easily have shooters around him to shoot the ball at a high clip. That's really what these great teams all have, right? So, yeah, I mean, they need Ja healthy, bottom line. All these other pieces are great. Obviously, we're looking forward to getting 3 of our guys back, who you mentioned, Ty Jerome, Zach Edey, and Brandon. But for them to really have a chance to solidify themselves as, I'd like to say, let's say a top 6 team in the West. I think that's doable for them. Could they really climb into the top 4? I think that'd be a pretty ambitious feat at this rate, given the talent in the West. But they need Ja fully healthy to be able to do that.
Along those lines, Michael Jordan on NBC with Mike Tirico in his weekly interview thing said he doesn't believe in load management, shouldn't be necessary. He never did it. He played almost every game, even with a bad wrist or a bad ankle or 100-degree fever like he did in the playoffs against Cleveland. What was, as you know, your perspective comes from the players. You represent them. What is your take on load management? I tend to, and I've said this for years, I tend to go along with Michael Jordan. I think there is an obligation by players, because people pay a lot of money to watch them play, to go out there and play. Obviously, management doesn't necessarily think that with this new science, but he doesn't believe in it. What do you think?
I think it's a fine line, Dave. My personal opinion, like, I get what MJ is saying, and I think that's an anomaly. It's Michael Jordan. No one, I would say that very few players that I've come across with that talent level. Well, first off, I've never come across a player with that talent level. But just in general, I think that players today are not built like him. And I don't think staffs are built like him. I think now, given the, let's say, pervasiveness and the increasing frequency of injuries around the league, it's a trickle-down effect. Every team, top to bottom in the NBA, is extra cautious, right? And if you've got a calf strain, you're going to be held out until that sucker's 110% for fear of an Achilles injury, for example. And I've dealt with that with some of my players already this year. Like, if you've got a sore back, you know, LeBron obviously has dealt with that over the years. You're going to be sitting out, especially older players, because you don't want it to be exacerbated and turn into something where you're out with a bigger issue for an extended period of time. And so, for one, I think very few players are built like MJ to just go out there for the love of the game and run through a brick wall for your team every single night, no matter what. Like, his competitiveness level, and I think you can say the same thing about Kobe, is unmatched. Like, they're willing to do whatever it takes, and they're going to hold everyone else around them accountable to have that same mentality. In today's world, that's just not the case. So I think it's less about players being soft, so to speak. I think the game has changed. I think everything is so much more fast-paced. I think that now you look at all these players playing over the summer with their national teams in Eurobasket. That really didn't happen early on in the 90s, mid-90s when Jordan was playing. So I think across the league, players are just putting more wear and tear on their body. Now, on the flip side of it, right, the recovery has improved. The techniques and the resources these players have off the court, that all has improved for sure, which goes into it. That's why you see a guy like LeBron playing into his 40s. And, you know, other older players around the league. You know, we represent Kyle Lowry still playing. Garrett Temple still playing. Obviously, these guys aren't in the rotation every single night. You know, Al Horford, for example. But I think it's just a combination of the change of the game. I think staffs are much more cautious. And so I personally look, representing players, I always want to protect my players from injury. And so if you ask me, Dave, I would be more in favor of load management if it is going to extend their career and add longevity to the season or to their bodies or to their career. And then you have players playing into their late 30s, which maybe you didn't see as much 25, 30 years
Yeah,
ago.
I Kyle Lowry, Mike Conley, those guys, I don't think they load manage very much, and they're still playing. That, to me, I don't know.
And look,
I can see both sides of the argument, but I tend to think that if you're paying $200 for a ticket, you should see the Star. That is
bring the
my
Stars out
stance.
for
All right, last
pregame.
thing.
Let them do a meet and greet with the fans 20 minutes before the game, then go sit on the bench. That's not going to happen.
I didn't pay to hear him talk. I paid to see him play. We got a story in San Antonio, off to a 5-0 start with Wemby and Castle and all those guys. Are they real contenders?
I think so. Are they going to sit there and compete with OKC at the end of the day? Probably not. Are they going to remain undefeated? Are they going to remain a top 2 or 3 team in the West? Probably not. They could absolutely be a top 4 or 5 team in the West. They are so fun to watch, and I'm so happy for them. And where they were the last 4 years, 3 years, 2 years ago, and I love watching Wemby. I mean, it's unlike anything you've ever seen before. And I know that his rookie season and coming into the league, people kind of always compared him physically with Giannis. He's light years ahead skill set-wise of where Giannis was in his, third year for Wemby. I mean, what he's doing out there. I mean, I've watched so many clips and just rewatched them. You see the guy coming over from the weak side, blocking 2 shots in the same possession, grabbing the ball off the block, pushing it up the floor in transition, pulling up for 3. To do that with his size, it's unbelievable. And now it's just some of the moves he has, like some of the counter moves he has. It's like a combination of Iverson when he's putting the ball on the floor, Dirk getting to his mid-range with that little fadeaway turnaround, just knowing the game and knowing how to score. And really, if you're one of these, guards on the Spurs, like you mentioned, former Rookie of the Year Stephen Castle, I've seen these guys, Dylan Harper, they're just one-handed throwing it at the rim. They don't even care about precision because they know Wemby's going to catch it and dunk it no matter where it is. It is unbelievable what he's doing. It's so great for the NBA.
It's so weird that you can say a guy who's 7'4", isn't that what he is? That you could say he's Allen Iverson-like. I mean, that's like,
but if you watch the
impossible.
handles,
But
it's justifiable.
I know. No, I agree. He's incredible. He really is. All right, we'll talk more. Your Bulls are off to a 4-0 start. I got a feeling that's fool's gold. But we'll talk about that next week. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate you. Very good. Very good. That's our guy on the NBA, our agent. That's Andy Schiffman from Priority Sports in Chicago. We hook up with Munzie. We talk about the trick that was played on the Tigers this almost Halloween Eve last night in Atlanta against Auburn. The beat writer from the Commercial Appeal, Jason Munz, comes your way in a minute.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
NST's been taking down insurance giants for over 35 years. Big firm power with hometown heart? Yeah, they don't play. It's that combination that has helped them win billions for their clients. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Something's always happening over at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, and I've got him on the line, Marty McNate. Hey, Marty, what's happening over there at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown?
Deals you can't pass up, Randy, like 2025 Taos S, $219 a month.
Taos S, $219 a month. What else you got, McNate?
What about a 2025 Jetta S? We Gossett $228 a month.
$228 a month for Jetta S? That is awesome. And that Atlas deal you were telling me about?
Randy, I've got a 2026 Atlas SE $299 a month.
I'm picking up what you're putting down over there. Hey, McNate, tell them what to do.
Come see me, Marty McNate, at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com. And remember, your future is what you make it.
That's Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
All 36 monthly, 7,500 miles, 25 cents excess mileage. Taos SMO 58885, MSRP 27011. Get a TM 005137, MSRP 25820. Atlas TC 515398, MSRP 41841. Includes all rebates and incentives. 895 PF. Excludes fast title license. Approved credit. CD for complete details. Plus finance through Volkswagen Financial Services. Valid through 10/31/25.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Somewhere between Atlanta and Memphis, the beat writer for the Tiger basketball team with the commercial appeal is Jason Munz. He joins us now. I miss one game, Munzie, and the world falls in. What the heck happened at State Farm Arena in Atlanta? The Tigers fell apart. 23 turnovers and only 21 field goals made. Ouch! What do you make of it all? Good morning.
Good morning. I might as well have not been there, because what happened last night is anybody's guess, including mine. I don't know what happened. It was a comedy of errors to start with, and it was just it just was so much of what we saw in the second half against Arkansas, where things fell apart for the Tigers. It just continued in the first half against Auburn. It just looked very much like nobody really wanted to be there, including the fans. Not much excited. The couple thousand that were there, and yeah, I mean, like there wasn't really anything redeeming about that game. It was pretty discouraging, I think.
I sit here and I think I saw this team introduced on Beal. I saw that length and there's some bulky guys there too, and I thought, oh wow, this is going to be really good. And Penny was bragging about defense and how they were going to get back to that, and yet they've given up 100 points pretty much in the 2 games. Now, they're exhibition games. Let's not forget that. He's trying to play everybody and figure out combinations, but we could see that they haven't been able to defend and they haven't been able to rebound, even with that length and bulk, and that has got to be concerning to Penny.
Yeah, I mean, that really is, that does need to be kept pretty close to front of mind. It's the fact that these are exhibition games. One was played on Monday, one was played on Thursday. And it should not be lost. We should not forget that this is Arkansas and Auburn. These are 2 teams that are both preseason top 20. Arkansas is viewed as a team that is got a shot. That they're a Final Four type team. and that Auburn is a second weekend type team in the NCAA tournament. Now, that being said, it's just there are just some troubling signs that we've noticed in these exhibition games. You mentioned the rebounding. It was a huge problem last night, especially. Even though I think if you look at the box score, Memphis finished with more rebounds than Auburn did. But you look at guys like Aaron Bradshaw, 0 defensive rebounds, 7'1". You look at Tariq Ingram, 6'9", 0 defensive rebounds. And there were a few other guys who had 0 defensive rebounds against Auburn.
That worries me. When your two rebounders are supposed to be Ingram and Bradshaw, and they don't get one, that's troubling.
Well, and then another thing is, like, the shooting is a big problem. Ashton Hardaway is not hitting shots. Curtis Givens III is not hitting shots. Very few people are hitting shots outside of Doug McDaniel and Sincere Parker. But and then in the post game, when Penny Hardaway said, "Well, Auburn showed zone, and we haven't worked on that at all offseason. We have not worked on our zone offense all offseason." That sounds like something that needs to be addressed pretty quickly.
I would say they will be working on that today, as soon as they get back. Look, they are now 10 of 52 from three-point range in the last two games. The guys that are taking the shots, Hardaway and the guard from LSU. I can't believe. Givens. Thank you. Curtis Givens III. They're taking all the shots and missing. They're 10 of 52. That is 19%. Holy smokes! Yeah,
it something's got to be done. Either you gotta tailor your offense around something else. But see, I'm afraid that this team isn't built that way. This team is not built to be able to work the ball inside like it did last year with Dane Danger, Moose Cisse, Nick Jourdain. I don't think that they have the personnel to do that. And so,
don't they really though? With Ingram and with Hakeem, why can't you move Bradshaw in? The guy is 7'1" and he can jump. He's athletic. He's a little lanky, but looks to me like he's strong. I don't understand why he cannot be an inside player.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 2 seasons of Aaron Bradshaw at the collegiate level, one at Kentucky, one at Ohio State, and they were underwhelming by the hype that surrounded, relative to the hype that surrounded him when he was coming out of high school. So I'm not sure that he is as athletic as a lot of people think he is. I mean, maybe. Yeah, he's 7'1", and he definitely does not have cemented issues, but I think that he might be closer to what he showed in the first 2 seasons of his college career than anything else.
Which is, if you look at just sheer numbers, they're not very, even though they're in the Big Ten and the SEC, right? They're not very productive. So that would be troubling as well. And the other thing are the turnovers, the careless giveaways. They do not value possessions. When you have 23 turnovers, and I hate to say it in the game because I'm a big Doug McDaniel fan, but in the game against Arkansas, the beginning of the end of that game was when he had a no-look pass into the backcourt that became a run-out. There was nobody near. I don't understand what he was doing there. I've watched him just carelessly give the ball away a couple of times in scrimmages. I don't get their value of possessions. This has to change immediately. To me, this is something Penny can fix.
Yeah, it just that points to me. Those turnovers point toward, for me, what the kids call unserious. Like, it's just they're not serious about ball security. I looked down at one point in the first half. They had 17 turnovers as a team in the first half. I looked down at one point. Curtis Givens III had played 5 minutes and committed 4 turnovers. Like, that's just not good enough.
And that's a primary ball handler.
Yeah, it is. And so, we'll see. Obviously, they have a week to prepare for San Francisco, and San Francisco is, as most people think, is not Arkansas or Auburn. We'll see what they look like against the San Franciscos of the world and the Ole Misses and the UNLVs. Maybe it is a competition thing. Maybe it is a thing that it's very early in the calendar. We'll see.
I think that term unserious is pretty apt at this point, and something that Penny's going to have to change that, because I know going in he felt really good about this ball club, and we do have to keep remembering these are exhibition games. That starting lineup, he really hasn't set yet. The rotation, he really hasn't set yet. So let's see what he does. He's got a week now to figure this out. I'm glad they're not starting on Monday like a lot of these other teams. He's got a week to figure it out, and we'll see what happens against San Francisco next Saturday. Thank you, my man.
All right. Thanks, Wolo.
That's Jason Munz, the terrific beat writer for the commercial appeal of your Tiger basketball team. That'll do it for our week, this final segment. And Munzie, brought to you by Shell Dunn Rosengarten, Mark Spensdorf, who knows how much good service can make the difference in a successful business. How sometimes your name says what you are. For example, FedEx, what does that mean? Quick overnight delivery. With Shell Dunn, it's all in his website, memphisrelocate.com. Now, that comes with a lot of different things. It can assure you he'll provide the best, most reliable service when you're selling your home, but it's also going to mean the strategic marketing program with the 3 Ps, price and preparation, so critical to everything. He makes the difference on when you sell and for how much you're going to sell. It's that strategic marketing program that is so unique to Shell Dunn. He always says, talk to 2 or 3 real estate agents, just make sure he's one of them. And here's how you do it. 483-0546. He works so hard, 24/7, 365. Or memphisrelocate.com. Let him show you what good service means. He'll relocate you. That's Shell Dunn, Sheldon Rosengarten. That'll do it for us. We'll see you bright and early Monday. Let's see what Tiger football can do here against Rice in Houston. Got to keep the train going. And again, we'll talk about it when we start the week. Thanks to all who listened, and of course to Landon Schmidt for producing. We'll say so long, but don't forget, Johnny Radio's right around the corner. Have a great weekend, everybody.